their shapes barely visible against the backdrop of space. Yet even here, the star's light can be felt, a distant glow that transforms the emptiness into something beautiful. The cosmos is quiet now, at peace with itself. The forces that created the star continue their work, shaping the disk and the worlds within it. The camera lingers for a moment, taking in the harmony of the scene before slowly fading to black. The young star, cradled by its luminous surroundings, breathes softly, each pulse of energy extending its influence a little further. Its golden glow weaves through the fabric of space, gently awakening the darkness around it. Time here is immeasurable, a slow, deliberate unfolding that knows neither haste nor urgency. The camera moves gracefully through this evolving tapestry, each detail expanding into something vast. Streams of gas curl and twist, forming intricate spirals that stretch toward infinity. Tiny motes of dust float within these streams, their surfaces shimmering faintly as they catch the star's light. Every movement is deliberate, every interaction purposeful, as if guided by the rhythm of an unseen symphony. In the heart of the protoplanetary disk, the temperature begins to rise. The closer to the star, the greater the heat, turning gas into radiant currents that swirl and flow like molten rivers. These rivers are alive with potential, each one carrying the raw materials of new worlds. The camera glides closer, revealing the textures of these currents. Smooth in some places, turbulent in others, like the ever-changing surface of a living ocean. Farther from the star, where the light is softer and the temperatures cooler, the process of planetary formation begins in earnest. Here, the dust grains, warmed but not consumed, start to cling to one another. At first, their unions are delicate, like drops of dew merging on a leaf. But over time, these unions grow stronger. Clusters form, spinning gently as they pull more material into their embrace. The camera focuses on one such cluster, a fragile sphere of dust and gas no larger than a pebble. Its surface glistens faintly, illuminated by the star's golden light. With each new collision, the cluster grows, its edges becoming denser, its form more defined. The gentle impacts of surrounding particles create a soft, melodic rhythm, a cosmic heartbeat that echoes through the void. Elsewhere in the disk, larger clusters begin to form. These are the seeds of protoplanets, their cores slowly solidifying as they gather mass. Some are smooth and spherical, while others are jagged, their surfaces shaped by countless collisions. The camera moves between them, capturing their quiet growth against the backdrop of swirling gas and dust. The star's energy now radiates with increasing strength, its light reaching even the farthest edges of the disk. This energy stirs the surrounding gas, creating currents and eddies that ripple outward like waves on a still pond. These movements are not chaotic but guided, as if the forces at play are part of a grand design. Magnetic fields, invisible but profound, begin to assert their influence. They weave through the disk, shaping the paths of particles and guiding them into intricate patterns. The camera follows one such field, its path marked by faint arcs of glowing gas. These arcs ripple and shift, their movements as fluid as the wind. In some regions, the gas condenses into filaments, their edges glowing softly in the star's light. These filaments twist and intertwine, creating structures that stretch for vast distances. The camera lingers here, capturing the delicate interplay of light and shadow, the soft hues of lavender and gold blending seamlessly into the surrounding darkness. As the protoplanetary disk evolves, it begins to take on new forms. Rings emerge, their edges defined by the gravitational pull of growing protoplanets. These rings are not solid but composed of countless particles, each one moving in perfect harmony with the others. Some rings are bright and dense, glowing with the light of the star, while others are faint and diffuse, their edges barely visible. Between the rings, gaps begin to form, wide, empty spaces carved out by the gravitational forces of the young protoplanets. These gaps are like windows into the deeper layers of the disk, revealing its swirling, dynamic interior. The camera moves through one such gap, its edges glowing softly as the particles within catch the star's light. The rings and gaps create a rhythm, a pattern that mirrors the star's quiet pulse. They are the fingerprints of creation, evidence of the forces at work in this corner of the cosmos. The star, now maturing, shines with a steadier light. Its golden radiance spreads outward in soft, undulating waves, each one carrying warmth and energy to the surrounding disk. The camera focuses on the star's surface, where streams of plasma rise and fall like gentle tides. These movements create patterns that shimmer with a quiet beauty, their edges glowing softly against the infinite darkness. The star's energy is no longer tentative. It radiates with quiet confidence, a beacon of stability in an ever-changing universe. Its light reaches beyond the boundaries of the disk, illuminating the faint remnants of the original cloud. These remnants, though distant, are still touched by the star's warmth, their edges glowing faintly as they dissolve into the void. Within the disk, the seeds of planets continue to grow. Some have reached the size of small moons, their surfaces smooth and reflective, while others are still fragile clusters of rock and ice. The camera moves closer to one of the larger protoplanets, revealing its rough, cratered surface. Its edges glow faintly in the star's light, casting long, shifting shadows that stretch across the surrounding dust. These shadows are the first hints of future landscapes, the mountains, valleys, and oceans that will one day define these worlds. For now, they are just shapes, their forms still undefined, their potential limitless. The camera moves outward, capturing the entire disk in a single frame. The rings, gaps, and protoplanets form a delicate tapestry, each element connected to the others by the invisible threads of gravity and energy. The star watches over them, its light nurturing their growth, its warmth a promise of life yet to come. The scene is one of perfect harmony. The star, the disk, and the surrounding space exist in a delicate balance, each element playing its part in the grand symphony of creation. The camera lingers here, capturing the quiet beauty of the moment. The soft glow of the star, the swirling motion of the disk, the faint outlines of distant clouds. The universe breathes softly, its rhythm steady and unchanging. This is the calm before the next chapter, the moment of stillness that marks the transition from chaos to order. The camera fades slowly to black, leaving only the star's light, a beacon of warmth and life in the infinite expanse. Time flows differently here, measured not in seconds or hours, but in the slow rhythm of cosmic evolution. The young star, now glowing with newfound strength, continues to radiate its energy outward. Its light, golden and serene, wraps itself around the protoplanetary disk, nurturing its growth and shaping its form. The camera moves closer to the star's surface, revealing a landscape in constant motion. Plasma flows rise in great arcs, shimmering in hues of amber and lavender, only to fall back into the fiery depths. These arcs form loops, vast and ethereal, their edges glowing as they interact with magnetic fields. The surface of the star hums with energy, a quiet but constant melody that echoes into the surrounding void. Around the star, the disk thickens, its spirals becoming more defined. Each particle within the disk moves with purpose, drawn into the dance of creation by the star's gravitational pull. The camera follows a single grain of dust, tracing its journey as it weaves through streams of gas and other particles. This grain, though small and seemingly insignificant, is part of something greater, an intricate process that will give rise to planets, moons, and the seeds of life. The disk now stretches outward in layers, each one revealing a different stage of formation. Closest to the star, the heat is intense, turning gas into a luminous haze that swirls in tight orbits. This inner region glows brightly, its golden light diffused by the density of the material within. Farther out, where the heat softens and the light becomes gentler, the particles begin to coalesce. Tiny clusters form, their surfaces gleaming faintly as they reflect the star's light. The camera moves between these clusters, capturing their shapes and textures. Some are smooth and rounded, others jagged and irregular, each one unique in its form. As the clusters grow, they draw smaller particles into their orbits. These collisions are gentle, like raindrops merging on a leaf, their impacts creating soft, resonant tones that blend into the larger symphony of the disk. Over time, these clusters become larger and more defined, their movements slower and more deliberate. Amidst the swirling chaos, the first protoplanets begin to emerge. These young worlds are still rough and unfinished, their surfaces scarred by countless collisions. The camera lingers on one such protoplanet, its surface a mix of rock and molten material, glowing faintly in the star's light. This protoplanet spins slowly, its motion steady and unchanging. Around it, smaller fragments continue to collide, adding to its mass and shaping its form. The camera moves closer, revealing the intricate details of its surface. Craters dot the landscape, their edges sharp and jagged. Rivers of molten rock flow between them, their glow a reflection of the star's warmth. In the distance, other protoplanets are forming, each one following its own unique path. Some are small and rocky, their surfaces cool and solid. Others are larger, their atmospheres thick with gas and vapor. Together, they form the foundation of a new planetary system, their movements guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. As the star continues to grow, its influence extends farther into the surrounding space. Its light now touches the outer edges of the disk, where the temperature drops and the material is sparse. Here, the gas and dust form delicate filaments, their edges illuminated by the star's distant glow. The camera follows one of these filaments, its path winding and twisting like a river through a vast desert. Within the filament, particles drift slowly, their movements guided by faint magnetic fields. These particles are the remnants of the original cloud, still lingering on the edges of creation. The star's light transforms these remnants, turning them from dark, lifeless matter into something luminous and beautiful. The camera captures this transformation in vivid detail, showing the play of light and shadow across the filaments. Each particle glows softly, its surface reflecting the star's warmth. Within the disk, patterns begin to emerge. The particles, once scattered and chaotic, now move in organized orbits. Rings of material form, their edges defined by the gravitational pull of the protoplanets. These rings glow faintly, their light a reflection of the star's energy. Between the rings, gaps appear wide, empty spaces carved out by the growing protoplanets. These gaps are not voids, but places of quiet, where the influence of gravity creates balance. The camera moves through one of these gaps, its edges glowing softly as the light of the star filters through. The rings and gaps form a delicate structure, like the grooves of a record, each one holding the potential for something extraordinary. The camera lingers here, capturing the quiet beauty of the scene. The soft glow of the rings, the gentle movement of particles, the faint hum of the star's energy. The star watches over its creation, its light a constant presence in the evolving system. Its surface, once turbulent and uncertain, now glows with steady confidence. The camera moves back to the star, capturing its radiant beauty in full detail. Streams of plasma flow across its surface, their movements smooth and rhythmic, like waves on a tranquil sea. The star's energy is no longer contained. It radiates outward in golden waves, touching everything within its reach. This energy breathes life into the disk, awakening the particles and guiding them toward their ultimate forms. The camera captures this interaction, showing the delicate interplay of light and matter. Around the star, the protoplanetary disk continues to evolve. The particles within move with purpose, their paths shaped by the star's gravity and the emerging protoplanets. This is a place of constant change, where every moment brings new growth and new possibilities. In the quieter regions of the disk, far from the star's intense heat, the first complex molecules begin to form. These molecules, carried by streams of gas and dust, hold the potential for life. The camera moves closer, capturing their delicate structures as they drift through the disk. These molecules are fragile, their bonds easily broken, but they are also resilient. They survive the collisions and turbulence of the disk, carried by currents of gas to places where they can thrive. The camera follows their journey, showing the intricate patterns they create as they move through the swirling material. Within the disk, these molecules find shelter in the forming protoplanets. They settle on their surfaces, embedding themselves in the rocky terrain. Here, they will wait, nurtured by the warmth of the star and the stability of their new homes, until the conditions for life emerge. The star's light is no longer a mere whisper in the void. It is a symphony, resonating through the endless expanse. Waves of energy cascade outward in soft, golden arcs, illuminating the vastness with a warmth that feels almost alive. Each ray of light dances across the particles in the protoplanetary disk, turning chaos into harmony. The disk itself has become a dynamic, living structure. Particles of gas and dust, once adrift in aimless paths, now move with precision, tracing spirals that radiate from the star like ripples on a tranquil pond. The camera glides through these spirals, capturing the intricate interplay of motion and light. Dust grains collide gently, their impacts releasing faint glimmers, like fireflies flickering in the twilight. At the heart of this dance is gravity, the unseen choreographer that guides every movement. Its pull is soft but unyielding, drawing material inward, shaping it into rings, streams, and clusters. The camera pauses on one of these clusters, a small, shimmering knot of dust and gas. It spins slowly, its edges glowing faintly as it gathers mass. This cluster, like so many others, holds the promise of a future world. In the outer reaches of the disk, where the star's light is softer and the temperatures are colder, the first giants begin to take shape. These are the gas giants, immense and ethereal, their forms sculpted from the swirling currents of hydrogen and helium. The camera approaches one such forming giant, its body a vast sphere of shimmering gases. The edges are diffuse, blending seamlessly into the surrounding disk, while the core glows faintly with captured heat. Streams of gas flow toward it, spiraling in graceful arcs, their movements slow and deliberate. Each stream adds to the planet's growing mass, feeding its quiet expansion. These giants are not yet complete. Their forms are still fluid, their boundaries undefined, but their presence is unmistakable, a testament to the power of creation. Around them, smaller fragments of dust and ice orbit in intricate patterns, their movements influenced by the giant's immense gravity. The camera lingers here, capturing the interplay between the giants and their surroundings. The gas giants are the anchors of the outer disk, their gravity shaping the paths of nearby material, carving out wide, empty gaps that glow faintly in the star's light. Closer to the star, where the heat is more intense and the material is denser, rocky planets begin to emerge. These are the terrestrial worlds, their forms solid and rugged, their surfaces marked by the scars of countless collisions. The camera moves inward, to the inner disk, where the star's light bathes the forming planets in a warm, golden glow. Here, the process of creation is more turbulent. Fragments of rock and metal collide with greater force, their impacts releasing bursts of light and heat. Each collision adds to the mass of the forming planet, shaping it piece by piece. One such world is taking shape, its surface a molten sea of magma, glowing with the star's energy. The camera focuses on this young planet, its form still raw and unfinished. Streams of molten rock flow across its surface, their movements slow and hypnotic, like rivers of fire. Around it, a faint halo of gas and dust glows softly, the remnants of its violent birth. Over time, the planet begins to cool, its surface hardening into a solid crust. The scars of its creation remain: craters, mountains, and valleys that bear witness to the forces that shaped it. The camera drifts across this landscape, capturing the intricate details of its surface, each feature a chapter in the planet's story. Time flows gently, like a river winding through a quiet valley. The star, now fully formed, continues to shine steadily, its light a beacon of stability in the evolving system. Its golden rays touch every corner of the disk, their warmth nurturing the formation of planets, moons, and other celestial bodies. The protoplanetary disk is no longer a chaotic sea of gas and dust. It has become a structured, harmonious system, each element moving in perfect balance with the others. Rings of material encircle the star, their edges glowing softly as they reflect its light. These rings are the pathways of planets, the tracks on which they travel through the infinite expanse. The camera moves through one of these rings, its path winding between streams of gas and clusters of dust. Each particle within the ring is a part of something greater, a cosmic journey that spans millions of years. The camera lingers on a single particle, following its path as it joins others, its journey a quiet testament to the patience of creation. Around the larger planets, moons begin to form. These smaller bodies, drawn from the surrounding material, orbit their parent planets in graceful loops. The camera approaches one such moon, its surface still rough and cratered, its edges glowing faintly in the light of its parent planet. This moon is a world unto itself, its surface marked by the scars of its formation. Craters dot its landscape, their edges sharp and jagged, while streams of dust and ice stretch across its plains. The camera drifts across the surface, capturing its quiet beauty, the play of light and shadow creating a tapestry of textures and colors. In the distance, other moons can be seen, each one unique in its form and character. Some are smooth and reflective, their surfaces covered in ice, while others are rocky and rugged, their surfaces shaped by ancient impacts. Together, they form a family of worlds, bound by the gravity of their parent planet, their movements synchronized like the notes of a symphony. The star, now fully mature, stands as the heart of this new solar system. Its light reaches to the farthest edges of the system, touching even the faintest remnants of the original cloud. The camera moves outward, capturing the entire system in a single frame. The star shines brightly at the center, its golden light illuminating the planets, moons, and rings that orbit it. This is a place of balance, of harmony. Each element of the system moves with purpose, its path guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. The camera lingers here, taking in the quiet beauty of the scene, the soft glow of the planets, the faint rings of gas and dust, the endless expanse of space that surrounds it all. The story of this solar system is far from over. It is a story of change, of growth, of the quiet unfolding of time. But for now, there is peace, a moment of stillness in the ever-turning wheel of creation. The star's light has settled into a steady rhythm, a pulse that resonates across the system it anchors. Time flows imperceptibly here, measured not in days or years but in the quiet, deliberate cycles of celestial evolution. Every particle, every motion, every faint flicker of light is part of a grand harmony, unfolding across millions of years. The camera glides outward, its view embracing the entirety of the protoplanetary disk. This vast, luminous structure stretches out like a delicate web, its spirals glowing faintly against the velvet backdrop of the cosmos. Each ring, each gap, is a reflection of the forces at work: gravity, magnetism, and light, shaping the raw material of creation. Closer to the star, the heat transforms the disk into a radiant sea of plasma and vapor. Further out, where the temperature cools, particles of ice and rock intermingle, their movements slower, more measured. Beyond, in the distant reaches of the disk, darkness reigns, the faint light of the star casting only a soft, golden haze. The disk is alive with motion, every fragment moving with purpose. Streams of gas spiral inward, drawn inexorably toward the star. Clumps of dust and ice collide gently, their impacts creating faint, shimmering bursts of light. The camera follows one such collision, capturing the moment when two fragments merge, their edges glowing softly as they join. These collisions are not random. Guided by the invisible hands of gravity, the fragments begin to coalesce into larger bodies. Some grow slowly, accumulating material over millions of years. Others form more rapidly, their mass pulling in surrounding particles with increasing force. Together, they give rise to the first protoplanets, their rough, irregular shapes a testament to the chaotic beauty of creation. The camera moves between these forming worlds, capturing their diversity. Some are small and rocky, their surfaces scarred by ancient impacts. Others are vast and gaseous, their edges diffuse, blending seamlessly into the surrounding disk. Each one is unique, a reflection of the conditions in which it was born. Near the star, where the heat is most intense, the rocky planets take shape. These are the terrestrial worlds, their surfaces solid and rugged, their cores dense with metal. The camera lingers on one such planet, its form still raw and unfinished. Streams of molten rock flow across its surface, their glow a reflection of the star's warmth. This young planet is a place of contrasts. Its nights are dark and cold, its days bright and scorching. The camera captures the interplay of light and shadow across its surface, the golden hues of the star blending with the deep reds of molten rock. Craters and valleys mark its landscape, each feature a chapter in the planet's story. As the planet cools, its surface begins to solidify. Crusts of rock form, their edges jagged and sharp, like the first leaves of a growing tree. Over time, these crusts will merge, creating continents and oceans, mountains and plains. But for now, the planet is still young, its potential just beginning to unfold. In the colder reaches of the disk, the gas giants are forming. These immense worlds, their cores hidden beneath layers of swirling gas, are the anchors of the outer system. The camera approaches one such giant, its atmosphere a kaleidoscope of colors, soft blues, deep purples, and faint golds, blending together in endless patterns. The giant's gravity shapes its surroundings, pulling in streams of gas and dust to form a massive, swirling disk. Within this disk, smaller moons begin to take shape, their paths influenced by the giant's immense pull. The camera moves closer to one of these moons, its surface still forming, its edges glowing faintly in the light of its parent planet. These moons are diverse in their forms and compositions. Some are icy and reflective, their surfaces smooth and pristine. Others are rocky and rugged, their landscapes marked by craters and ridges. Together, they form a family of worlds, bound by their shared orbit around the gas giant. Around the gas giants, rings of dust and ice begin to emerge. These rings, delicate and ethereal, are the remnants of the collisions and interactions that have shaped the moons. The camera moves through one such ring, its edges glowing softly as the light of the star filters through. The particles within the ring are small, no larger than grains of sand, yet their collective presence creates a structure of breathtaking beauty. They move in perfect harmony, their orbits guided by the gravity of the planet they encircle. The camera lingers here, capturing the interplay of light and motion, the soft hues of lavender and gold blending seamlessly into the surrounding darkness. The star stands as the unwavering heart of this growing system. Its light, steady and golden, touches every corner of the disk, nurturing the formation of planets, moons, and other celestial bodies. The camera returns to the star, capturing its radiant beauty in full detail. Its surface is alive with motion, streams of plasma rising and falling like waves on a tranquil sea. This light is more than illumination. It is life itself, the energy that drives the system's evolution. The camera captures the interaction between the star's light and the surrounding disk, showing how it shapes the paths of particles, creates patterns of light and shadow, and reveals the hidden beauty of the cosmos. Beyond the main disk, in the farthest reaches of the system, the remnants of the original cloud linger. These faint, misty structures stretch outward, their edges illuminated by the distant light of the star. Here, the material is sparse, the movements of particles slow and deliberate. The camera moves through this outer region, capturing the delicate interplay of light and shadow. The particles here are small and fragile, their surfaces coated in ice and dust. They drift slowly, their paths influenced by faint magnetic fields and the distant pull of the star's gravity. These outer reaches are a place of quiet, a sanctuary untouched by the turbulence of the inner system. The camera lingers here, taking in the stillness, the soft glow of the star, and the faint outlines of the forming solar system. The star, now fully formed, watches over its creation. Its light reaches to the farthest edges of the system, illuminating the planets, moons, and rings that orbit it. This is a place of balance, of harmony, where every element moves with purpose, guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. The story of this solar system is just beginning. Over millions of years, the planets will grow and evolve, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge, nurtured by the star's warmth and energy. But for now, there is only stillness, the quiet unfolding of time. The camera fades to black, leaving only the soft, golden glow of the star, a beacon of warmth and life in the infinite expanse. Gravity, the unseen sculptor of the cosmos, continues its quiet labor. Every fragment of dust, every shimmering grain of ice, is drawn together by its subtle pull. The protoplanetary disk, once a swirling chaos of particles, has begun to take on a form of refined elegance. Streams of gas spiral inward, weaving patterns that radiate outward like the petals of a celestial flower. The camera follows one such stream, tracing its path as it dances through the golden light of the star. Within this stream, particles collide and merge, their movements slow and deliberate. These collisions, though gentle, are transformative. Over time, the fragments grow larger, their edges smoothing as they are shaped by the forces around them. Some fragments remain solitary, drifting quietly through the disk. Others join together, forming larger bodies that move with greater purpose. The camera focuses on one of these forming worlds, its surface still rough and unfinished. This protoplanet is a quiet promise, a future planet in its earliest stages of creation. In the inner regions of the disk, where the star's heat is most intense, the forming planets glow with a fiery brilliance. Their surfaces are seas of molten rock, churning and shifting under the influence of gravity. The camera approaches one such world, its landscape alive with motion. Rivers of molten rock flow across its surface, carving valleys and filling basins with liquid fire. The heat is immense, the airless atmosphere shimmering with waves of energy. This young world is a place of constant change, its surface reshaped with every passing moment. Yet within this chaos lies the seed of stability. Over time, the molten rock will cool, hardening into a solid crust. The planet's surface will take on new forms: mountains, valleys, and plains, each one a testament to the forces that shaped it. Above the planet, the faint remnants of its original cloud linger, forming a thin halo of gas and dust. The camera moves through this halo, capturing the interplay of light and shadow as the particles reflect the star's golden glow. These particles, though small, are part of a much larger process, a quiet, patient transformation that spans millions of years. In the outer regions of the disk, where the star's light is softer and the material is colder, a giant is being born. This world, vast and ethereal, is a gas giant, its form sculpted from the swirling streams of hydrogen and helium that surround it. The camera approaches this immense planet, its atmosphere a swirling tapestry of colors, deep blues, soft golds, and faint traces of lavender. The gas giant's surface is shrouded in mist, its boundaries undefined. Streams of gas flow toward it, spiraling in graceful arcs as they are drawn into its immense gravity. These streams create patterns of motion that are both chaotic and harmonious, their movements guided by the invisible threads of magnetic fields. Around the gas giant, smaller bodies begin to form. These are the planet's moons, their shapes still undefined, their surfaces rough and uneven. The camera moves closer to one such moon, its landscape marked by craters and ridges. This moon, like its parent planet, is a work in progress, a world that will evolve and change as the system around it continues to grow. The star's light, steady and golden, reaches ever farther into the surrounding space. Its energy warms the protoplanetary disk, setting particles in motion and driving the processes of creation. The camera moves outward, capturing the full extent of the disk. Rings of material encircle the star, their edges glowing softly as they reflect its light. These rings are not uniform. They are shaped by the movements of the forming planets. Some are dense and bright, filled with streams of gas and dust. Others are faint and diffuse, their material spread thinly across vast distances. The camera lingers on one such ring, its particles moving in perfect harmony, their paths guided by the star's gravity. Beyond the rings, in the outer reaches of the system, the remnants of the original clouds stretch outward. These faint, misty structures are illuminated by the star's distant glow, their edges barely visible against the backdrop of space. The camera moves through this region, capturing the quiet beauty of the particles as they drift slowly, their movements shaped by faint magnetic fields and the pull of gravity. The planets, still forming, begin to settle into their orbits. Each one moves with precision, its path guided by the star's gravity. The camera follows the motion of these worlds, capturing their quiet elegance as they circle the star. Some are small and rocky, their surfaces scarred by ancient impacts. Others are vast and gaseous, their atmospheres glowing softly in the star's light. This is a dance of creation, a ballet that spans the entirety of the protoplanetary disk. Every movement is part of a larger pattern, a cosmic rhythm that connects the planets, the moons, and the star itself. The camera captures this rhythm, showing the interplay of light, motion, and form as the system continues to evolve. Around the larger planets, moons are beginning to take shape. These smaller worlds, drawn from the surrounding material, are sculpted by the same forces that shape their parent planets. The camera approaches one such moon, its surface still rough and uneven. Craters and ridges mark its landscape, their edges glowing faintly in the light of the planet it orbits. This moon, like the planets, is a work in progress. Its surface will change over time, shaped by impacts, volcanic activity, and the slow forces of erosion. For now, it is a place of quiet beauty, its rugged landscape a testament to the forces that created it. Other moons form in the shadows of their parent planets, their surfaces coated in ice and dust. These icy moons reflect the light of the star, their surfaces glowing softly against the darkness of space. The camera moves between these moons, capturing their diversity and the quiet elegance of their movements. The star, now fully formed, stands as the heart of this new solar system. Its light, steady and golden, touches every corner of the disk, illuminating the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies that orbit it. This is a place of balance, of harmony, where every element moves with purpose, guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. The camera moves outward, capturing the entire system in a single frame. The star shines brightly at the center, its golden light radiating outward in soft waves. Around it, the planets, moons, and rings form a delicate tapestry, each element connected to the others by the invisible threads of gravity and energy. This is the beginning of a new chapter in the universe's story, a place of quiet beauty and endless possibility. Over millions of years, the planets will grow and evolve, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge, nurtured by the stars' warmth and energy. But for now, there is only stillness, the quiet unfolding of creation. The protoplanetary disk, once a turbulent sea of particles, has transformed into a realm of exquisite order. Streams of gas and dust weave intricate patterns, spiraling outward like threads of a cosmic tapestry. The star's light, soft and golden, illuminates these structures, turning the swirling chaos into a vision of quiet elegance. Time here is unhurried, measured in epochs rather than moments. The camera glides through the disk, capturing the delicate interplay of light and shadow. Each particle, though small, plays a role in this grand design. Dust grains merge, gas streams collide, and the quiet forces of gravity shape them into ever larger structures. Farther out, in the cooler regions of the disk, the interplay of light and matter becomes more complex. Ice particles shimmer faintly, reflecting the distant glow of the star. The camera follows a single shard of ice as it drifts through the disk, its surface catching the faint hues of lavender and gold. This shard, like countless others, is a fragment of a greater whole, a piece of the puzzle that will one day form the outer worlds. As the young planets continue to grow, their gravity begins to carve paths through the disk. These paths, marked by wide, empty gaps, are the first signs of planetary orbits. The camera moves through one such gap, its edges glowing softly as the light of the star filters through. The material within the disk is drawn toward these growing planets, forming rings that encircle them like halos of dust and gas. These rings are delicate and ethereal, their particles moving in synchronized orbits. The camera lingers here, capturing the quiet beauty of these structures. Each ring is a testament to the balance of forces, the pull of gravity, the push of radiation, the steady warmth of the star. Closer to the star, the heat transforms the disk into a glowing sea of vapor and molten rock. These inner regions are alive with energy, their particles moving with greater speed and intensity. The camera captures the vibrant hues of this region, bright gold, deep crimson, and soft amber blending together in a dance of light and motion. Within the disk, the growing planets begin to cast shadows, their forms blocking the light of the star and creating patterns of darkness that stretch across the surrounding material. These shadows are not static. They shift and change as the planets move, their edges softened by the diffuse glow of the disk. The camera focuses on one such shadow, its form long and slender, stretching across a distant ring. This shadow is a harbinger of the planet's growing presence, a sign of its influence on the system around it. The camera follows the shadow to its source, a young planet, its surface still rough and molten, its edges glowing faintly in the light of the star. This planet is a place of extremes. Its nights are cold and dark, its days blindingly bright. Streams of molten rock flow across its surface, carving valleys and filling basins with liquid fire. Above, a thin atmosphere shimmers faintly, its particles catching the star's light and scattering it into a soft, golden haze. In the distant reaches of the disk, where the star's warmth is but a faint whisper, the outer planets continue their quiet evolution. These are the gas giants, their forms vast and ethereal, their atmospheres alive with swirling currents of hydrogen and helium. The camera approaches one such giant, its atmosphere a kaleidoscope of colors, deep blues, soft violets, and pale golds blending together in endless patterns. Streams of gas flow toward the planet, spiraling inward as they are drawn into its immense gravity. These streams form vast storms, their edges glowing softly as they reflect the distant light of the star. Around the gas giant, moons begin to form, their orbits tracing graceful arcs through the surrounding disk. These moons are diverse in their forms and compositions. Some are small and rocky, their surfaces scarred by ancient impacts. Others are icy and reflective, their surfaces smooth and pristine, their edges glowing faintly in the star's light. The camera moves between these moons, capturing their quiet beauty. Each one is a world unto itself, a place of potential, its surface shaped by the forces of its parent planet. Together, they form a family of worlds, bound by the gravity of the gas giant, their movements synchronized like the notes of a symphony. The star, now fully mature, extends its influence even further into the surrounding space. Its light, steady and golden, touches every corner of the system, warming the planets, moons, and rings that orbit it. The camera moves outward, capturing the full extent of the system. The star shines brightly at the center, its light radiating outward in soft, undulating waves. Beyond the main disk, in the farthest reaches of the system, the remnants of the original cloud linger. These faint, misty structures stretch outward, their edges illuminated by the distant glow of the star. Here, in the cold and quiet expanse, the building blocks of comets and other icy bodies take shape. The camera moves through this region, capturing the delicate interplay of light and shadow. The particles here are small and fragile, their surfaces coated in ice and dust. They drift slowly, their movements shaped by faint magnetic fields and the distant pull of the star's gravity. Over time, the system begins to settle into a rhythm. The planets, moons, and rings move in harmonious orbits, their paths guided by the star's gravity. The camera captures this movement, showing the interplay of light, motion, and form as the system continues to evolve. Each planet follows its own unique path, its orbit shaped by the forces around it. The camera focuses on one such orbit, tracing its curve as it moves through the disk. The planet, now fully formed, glows softly in the star's light, its surface marked by the scars of its formation. The moons, too, move with precision, their orbits synchronized with those of their parent planets. These smaller worlds are diverse in their forms and compositions, each one a reflection of the conditions in which it was born. The camera moves between them, capturing their unique beauty and the quiet elegance of their movements. At the heart of this evolving system stands the star, its light a constant presence. The camera returns to the star, capturing its radiant beauty in full detail. Its surface is alive with motion, streams of plasma rising and falling like waves on a tranquil sea. The star's light is more than just illumination. It is the life force of the system, the energy that drives its evolution. The camera captures the interaction between the star's light and the surrounding material, showing how it shapes the paths of particles, creates patterns of light and shadow, and reveals the hidden beauty of the cosmos. This solar system, now fully formed, is a place of balance and harmony. Its planets, moons, and rings move with purpose, their paths guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. This is a place of endless potential, a new chapter in the story of the universe. The camera moves outward, capturing the entire system in a single frame. The star shines brightly at the center, its golden light illuminating the planets, moons, and rings that orbit it. Beyond, the faint outlines of the original cloud fade into the darkness, their remnants a quiet reminder of the forces that shaped this system. This is a beginning, a moment of stillness before the next chapter unfolds. The story of this solar system is far from over. Over millions of years, the planets will grow and evolve, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge, nurtured by the star's warmth and energy. For now, there is only peace, a quiet harmony that stretches across the infinite expanse. Time drifts forward, unhurried. The star stands as a sentinel at the heart of its creation, its golden light reaching out in gentle waves to nurture the surrounding worlds. The protoplanetary disk, now a refined structure of rings and gaps, glows softly in the vastness of space. Each ring holds the promise of new beginnings, its particles in constant motion, quietly converging to form planets, moons, and asteroids. The camera moves through this disk, capturing the intricacies of its form. Streams of gas flow in graceful spirals, their edges glowing faintly as they catch the star's light. Dust particles collide gently, their impacts releasing faint glimmers, like sparks from a distant fire. These tiny fragments, seemingly insignificant, are the building blocks of something greater, a solar system on the cusp of formation. Farther out, in the colder regions of the disk, the interplay of light and matter becomes more subdued. Ice particles drift slowly, their surfaces shimmering with faint hues of lavender and blue. The camera focuses on one such particle, tracing its journey as it merges with others, a quiet step in the endless dance of creation. In the inner reaches of the disk, where the star's warmth is most intense, the rocky planets begin to take on their final forms. These worlds, their surfaces still molten and glowing, are places of stark beauty and intense transformation. Rivers of liquid rock carve pathways across their surfaces, their glow blending with the golden light of the star to create a landscape alive with motion and energy. The camera moves closer to one of these forming planets, capturing the intricate details of its surface. Craters, formed by ancient impacts, dot the landscape, their edges glowing faintly with heat. Streams of gas rise from the planet's molten core, creating a thin, hazy atmosphere that shimmers in the star's light. Over time, the planet begins to cool. Its surface hardens into a solid crust, its once molten rivers now frozen in place, their paths preserved as scars on the planet's surface. The camera lingers here, showing the quiet beauty of this new world, a place of stillness and promise, its potential waiting to be realized. Beyond the inner planets, in the colder reaches of the disk, the gas giants continue their slow, deliberate growth. These immense worlds, their forms shrouded in layers of swirling gas, dominate the outer regions of the system. Their atmospheres, alive with motion, glow softly in the faint light of the distant star. The camera approaches one such giant, its atmosphere a mesmerizing blend of colors, soft blues, deep purples, and faint golds swirling together in endless patterns. Vast storms rage across its surface, their edges glowing with the energy of the planet's internal heat. These storms are not chaotic. They move with a rhythm, a quiet harmony that reflects the balance of forces at play. Around the gas giant, moons begin to take shape. These smaller worlds, drawn from the surrounding material, are diverse in their forms and compositions. Some are icy and reflective, their surfaces smooth and pristine. Others are rocky and rugged, their landscapes marked by craters and ridges. The camera moves between these moons, capturing their quiet beauty and the intricate interplay of light and shadow on their surfaces. Each gas giant becomes the center of its own miniature system, its gravity drawing in material to form rings and moons. The camera moves outward, capturing the entirety of one such system. At its center, the gas giant glows softly, its atmosphere illuminated by the faint light of the star. Around it, rings of dust and ice create intricate patterns, their particles moving in synchronized orbits. The moons, scattered across the system, move with purpose, their paths guided by the gravity of their parent planet. Some orbit closely, their surfaces illuminated by the planet's glow. Others, farther out, drift more slowly, their movements measured and deliberate. The camera lingers on one such moon, its surface marked by ancient craters and frozen plains. This moon, like its parent planet, is a work in progress, a world in the midst of quiet transformation. As the system continues to evolve, the star's light extends its reach, illuminating even the distant edges of the protoplanetary disk. In these outer regions, where the material is sparse and the light is faint, comets and other icy bodies begin to form. These objects, small and fragile, are the remnants of the original cloud, their icy surfaces preserving the secrets of the early universe. The camera moves through this region, capturing the quiet beauty of these icy fragments. Some drift alone, their surfaces shimmering faintly in the star's light. Others move in clusters, their paths influenced by the faint pull of gravity. These objects, though small, play a vital role in the system's evolution, their movements part of the larger symphony of creation. As the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies settle into their orbits, the system begins to take on a sense of balance. The camera captures this harmony, showing the interplay of light, motion, and form as the system continues to evolve. Each planet follows its path around the star, its orbit shaped by the forces that created it. The inner planets, rocky and solid, move quickly, their paths close to the star. Their surfaces, now hardened and stable, begin to show the first signs of geological activity. Volcanic eruptions carve new landscapes, their molten streams glowing faintly in the star's light. The camera lingers on one such eruption, capturing the quiet power of the planet's internal energy. The outer planets, vast and gaseous, move more slowly, their orbits wide and deliberate. Their atmospheres, alive with motion, reflect the faint hues of the star, creating a scene of quiet beauty and endless depth. Around them, their moons and rings form intricate patterns, their movements synchronized with those of their parent planets. Amidst this quiet harmony, the seeds of life begin to take root. In the cooler regions of the inner planets, where water can exist as a liquid, complex molecules begin to form. These molecules, carried by streams of gas and dust, find their way to the planet's surfaces, embedding themselves in the rocky terrain. The camera moves closer to one such planet, its surface marked by oceans and continents, its atmosphere thick with clouds. This world, though still young, holds the promise of life. Its waters, warmed by the star's gentle light, are a cradle for the first organic compounds, the building blocks of living systems. Above, the clouds shift and swirl, their edges glowing softly in the star's light. The camera captures this interplay of water and light, showing the quiet beauty of a world on the brink of transformation. This is the beginning of a new chapter, a story of life and growth that will unfold over millions of years. The camera moves outward once more, capturing the entire system in its full glory. At its center, the star shines brightly, its light radiating outward in soft, golden waves. Around it, the planets, moons, and rings form a delicate tapestry, each element connected to the others by the invisible threads of gravity and energy. This is a place of balance and harmony, a solar system in its infancy, full of potential and promise. The camera lingers here, taking in the quiet beauty of the scene, the soft glow of the planets, the faint outlines of the original cloud, and the endless expanse of space that surrounds it all. This is a moment of stillness, a pause in the endless rhythm of creation. The story of this system is far from over. Over millions of years, the planets will grow and evolve, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge, nurtured by the star's warmth and energy. But for now, there is only peace, a quiet harmony that stretches across the infinite expanse. Time flows in an eternal spiral, unmeasured and infinite. The newborn solar system, cradled by the golden light of its star, rests in a fragile equilibrium. Every orbit, every collision, every flicker of light contributes to the quiet masterpiece of creation. Yet, beneath the surface of this cosmic stillness, change stirs, an unyielding force weaving the threads of what will be. The protoplanetary disk, now a complex structure of glowing rings and shadowed gaps, continues to evolve. Streams of gas and dust twist and spiral, their patterns becoming more refined with each passing epoch. These motions are guided by the invisible hand of gravity, which whispers to every particle, drawing them into harmony. The camera moves gently through this scene, its perspective gliding past the luminous currents of the inner disk to the shadowy, icy expanse of the outer reaches. Each region tells a different chapter of the star system's story, its characters unique yet interconnected. In the inner sanctum of the system, the heat of the star is intense. Here, rocky planets, their surfaces glowing with molten energy, are sculpted by the relentless forces of impact and heat. These young worlds are cauldrons of transformation, their forms shaped and reshaped by the collisions that define their early years. The camera focuses on one such planet, tracing its jagged, molten surface. Streams of lava carve pathways through a rugged landscape, their glowing trails forming rivers of fire. Volcanic eruptions punctuate the scene, their fiery plumes rising into a thin, ephemeral atmosphere. This world is alive with energy, its every feature a testament to the dynamic forces that brought it into being. As millions of years pass, the surface begins to cool. The molten rivers solidify, their paths preserved as canyons and valleys. Crusts of rock form, creating islands of stability amidst the chaos. The camera lingers on these formations, their jagged edges softening in the golden light of the star. Slowly, these islands grow, merging to form continents that hint at the landscapes yet to come. Farther out, where the star's warmth is but a distant echo, the gas giants rise to prominence. These immense worlds, their atmospheres thick with swirling hydrogen and helium, are the titans of the system, shaping their surroundings with their immense gravity. The camera approaches one such giant, its atmosphere a mesmerizing swirl of colors. Azure blues, deep violets, and golden streaks blending together in hypnotic patterns. Vast storms churn on its surface, their movements slow and deliberate, their edges glowing softly in the starlight. These storms are ancient and eternal, their quiet power a reflection of the forces at work within the planet's core. Around the gas giant, moons begin to form. These smaller worlds are as varied as the planets themselves. The camera moves to one such moon, its icy surface smooth and reflective, casting faint glimmers of light into the surrounding darkness. Cracks stretch across its surface, hinting at the dynamic processes occurring beneath. Elsewhere, rocky moons take shape, their surfaces rugged and cratered. Some are captured fragments of ancient collisions, while others are born from the material of the disk itself. The camera drifts across these landscapes, capturing the quiet interplay of light and shadow that defines their forms. The movements of the gas giants carve patterns into the disk, creating rings and gaps that ripple outward from their orbits. These structures are delicate and ephemeral, their forms shaped by the gravitational interactions of the planets and their moons. The camera moves through one such ring, its particles glowing softly in the light of the star. These particles, no larger than grains of sand, move in synchronized orbits, their paths guided by the invisible threads of gravity. The ring's edges are defined, sharp and clear, a boundary created by the influence of a nearby moon. Each ring is unique, its composition and structure reflecting the conditions of its formation. Some are dense and bright, their particles packed closely together. Others are faint and diffuse, their material spread thinly across vast distances. The camera lingers on these differences, capturing the quiet elegance of these celestial structures. Beyond the orbits of the gas giants lies a region of quiet isolation. Here, in the cold and distant reaches of the system, the remnants of the original cloud linger. These icy bodies, small, fragile, and ancient, are the last echoes of the system's turbulent birth. The camera moves through this region, capturing the faint outlines of comets and other icy fragments. Their surfaces are pristine, untouched by the heat of the star. These objects drift slowly, their movements shaped by the faint pull of gravity and the distant influence of the planets. Some of these icy bodies are drawn inward, their paths intersecting with the orbits of the inner planets. As they approach the star, their icy surfaces begin to vaporize, creating glowing tails that stretch across the sky. These comets are messengers from the outer reaches, carrying the secrets of the system's formation. On one of the cooling, rocky planets, a transformation is underway. Water, brought by the impacts of icy comets, begins to collect on the surface, forming shallow seas and vast oceans. The camera focuses on these waters, their surfaces reflecting the golden light of the star. These oceans are cradles of potential, their depths rich with the complex molecules that are the building blocks of life. The camera moves beneath the surface, revealing a world of quiet motion. Streams of minerals flow through the water, creating gradients that will one day support the emergence of living systems. Above, clouds form in the planet's atmosphere, their edges glowing softly in the light of the star. These clouds shift and swirl, their movements driven by the planet's nascent weather systems. Rain falls, feeding the growing oceans and carving new paths across the rocky landscape. As the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies settle into their final orbits, the solar system takes on a sense of balance. Each world moves with precision, its path guided by the gravity of the star. The camera captures this harmony, showing the interplay of light, motion, and form as the system continues to evolve. The inner planets, solid and rocky, are places of quiet transformation, their surfaces shaped by the forces of geology and weather. The outer planets, vast and gaseous, are centers of gravity, their moons and rings creating miniature systems of their own. The icy bodies of the outer reaches remain in quiet isolation, their surfaces untouched and pristine. The star, now fully mature, stands as the heart of this new solar system. Its light, steady and golden, touches every corner of the system, nurturing the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies that orbit it. This is a place of balance, of harmony, where every element moves with purpose, guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. The camera moves outward, capturing the entire system in a single frame. The star shines brightly at the center, its golden light radiating outward in soft waves. Around it, the planets, moons, and rings form a delicate tapestry, each element connected to the others by the invisible threads of gravity and energy. This is not the end, but the beginning, a solar system poised for its next chapter. Over billions of years, its worlds will change and grow, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge, nurtured by the star's warmth and energy. For now, there is only peace, a quiet harmony that stretches across the infinite expanse. The solar system, a tapestry of light, motion, and stillness, continues its quiet evolution. Every particle, every orbit, every flash of light contributes to a grander symphony, a harmony that unfolds over eons. Time flows like a gentle river, sculpting the system's worlds into shapes of beauty and purpose. The star, glowing with steady brilliance, is the heart of this symphony. Its golden light radiates outward, warming the closest planets and faintly touching the distant icy bodies. Around it, the protoplanetary disk has thinned, leaving behind structured rings of dust and gas, each a cradle for planets, moons, and asteroids. The camera moves inward, gliding past the rocky worlds closest to the star, through the gaseous giants in the middle reaches, and into the icy expanse at the system's edge. Every corner of this celestial expanse tells a unique story, a tale of creation and transformation. The rocky planets near the star are worlds of contrast and change. Their molten surfaces, once chaotic and fiery, are now stabilizing. Crusts of solid rock encase their interiors, creating continents that rise above the forming oceans. These continents are jagged and raw, shaped by ancient volcanic activity and relentless impacts. The camera focuses on one of these planets, its surface marked by deep craters, towering mountains, and newly forming rivers. Volcanic activity continues, its plumes of ash and gas rising into a sky painted with streaks of orange and gold. As the planet cools, these eruptions begin to wane, giving way to quieter forces, erosion, weathering, and the slow, deliberate sculpting of the planet's surface. Above the surface, clouds gather, their movements driven by the planet's forming weather systems. Rain falls, feeding rivers that carve deep canyons and fill basins with water. The camera follows one such river, tracing its path from a mountain spring to the edge of a vast, shimmering ocean. The ocean's surface reflects the golden light of the star, creating a landscape of serene beauty. Farther from the star, the gas giants hold sway. These colossal worlds, their atmospheres swirling with hydrogen and helium, are the sculptors of the system's middle regions. Their immense gravity shapes the orbits of nearby moons and smaller bodies, creating intricate patterns of motion and interaction. The camera approaches one such giant, its atmosphere a dynamic canvas of color and motion. Vast storms churn on its surface, their swirling clouds painted in shades of blue, violet, and gold. These storms are ancient, their energy sustained by the heat rising from the planet's core. The largest of these storms is a cyclonic vortex, its diameter spanning thousands of kilometers, its edges glowing softly in the star's distant light. Around the gas giant, a family of moons orbits in harmony. Each moon is unique, its form shaped by its composition and the forces acting upon it. Some moons are icy, their surfaces smooth and reflective, while others are rocky, their landscapes marked by craters, ridges, and deep chasms. The camera lingers on one of these moons, its surface coated in ice that glows faintly in the star's light. Cracks stretch across the icy plains, hinting at a subsurface ocean warmed by tidal forces. This moon is a world of mystery and potential, its hidden depths a cradle for possibilities yet to unfold. Between the rocky planets and the gas giants lies the asteroid belt, a region of rocky fragments left over from the system's formation. These asteroids, varying in size from tiny pebbles to massive boulders, are relics of the early solar system, their surfaces scarred by billions of years of impacts. The camera moves through this belt, capturing the quiet movements of these ancient rocks. Some drift alone, their paths steady and unchanging. Others cluster together, their orbits influenced by the gravity of nearby planets. Occasionally, two asteroids collide, their impact sending smaller fragments spiraling into the void. Beyond the gas giants, in the colder reaches of the system, comets begin to take shape. These icy bodies, formed from the frozen remnants of the original cloud, are the messengers of the outer system. The camera follows one such comet, its surface shimmering faintly as it drifts through the darkness. As the comet approaches the star, its icy surface begins to vaporize, creating a glowing tail that stretches for thousands of kilometers. At the farthest reaches of the solar system lies a realm of cold and quiet. Here, the star's light is a distant glimmer, its warmth barely perceptible. This is the home of the Kuiper Belt, a region filled with icy bodies and dwarf planets that orbit in slow, deliberate paths. The camera moves through this frozen expanse, capturing the stillness of its icy inhabitants. Some are small and irregular, their surfaces rough and jagged. Others are larger, their forms rounded by gravity, their surfaces coated in frost. The largest of these is a dwarf planet, its surface marked by craters and vast plains of ice. Beyond the Kuiper Belt lies the Oort cloud, a spherical shell of icy bodies that stretches far into the void. The camera drifts into this distant region, its perspective shifting to reveal the faint outlines of comets and other frozen fragments. These objects, though far from the star, are still part of its domain, their orbits influenced by its distant gravity. On one of the rocky planets near the star, the conditions for life are quietly emerging. The planet's surface, once molten and chaotic, is now stable and cool. Oceans cover much of its surface, their depths teeming with the chemical building blocks of life. In these waters, simple organic molecules begin to form, their interactions driven by the energy of sunlight and volcanic heat. The camera moves beneath the surface of the ocean, capturing the quiet motion of these molecules. Streams of minerals flow through the water, creating gradients that will one day support the emergence of living systems. Above, the clouds shift and swirl, their movements driven by the planet's forming weather systems. This planet, though still young, holds the promise of something extraordinary. Its oceans, its atmosphere, its dynamic surface, all are part of a delicate balance, a balance that will one day give rise to life. At the center of it all, the star shines steadily, its light a constant presence in the evolving system. Its energy drives the processes of creation, warming the planets, shaping their atmospheres, and nurturing the beginnings of life. The camera returns to the star, capturing its radiant beauty in full detail. Its surface is alive with motion, streams of plasma rising and falling in a rhythm as old as the cosmos itself. The camera pulls back, revealing the entire solar system in its glory. The star is a golden beacon at the center, surrounded by planets, moons, rings, and icy fragments. Each element of this system moves in perfect harmony, its path guided by the gentle pull of the star's gravity. This is not an end, but a beginning. The solar system is a place of balance and harmony, yet it is also a place of endless change. Over billions of years, its planets will evolve, their surfaces shaped by the forces of nature. Life may one day emerge and flourish, its story written in the light of the star. The camera drifts outward, leaving the system behind. The star's light fades into the distance, its golden glow a beacon of warmth and hope in the infinite darkness. This is the story of creation, a story that continues to unfold across the endless expanse of time and space. Time flows ceaselessly, a vast river that carries the seeds of creation toward their inevitable destinies. The solar system, now a delicate and evolving tapestry, has begun to solidify its rhythms. The camera returns to the center, to the radiant heart, the star. Its golden light, both gentle and commanding, weaves through the orbits of planets and moons, illuminating their endless journeys. The protoplanetary disk is no longer a nebulous sea of dust and gas. It is transformed into a well-defined structure of worlds, rings, and smaller fragments, each moving in harmony with the gravitational pull of the star. The system has settled into a symphony of balance, yet change and evolution remain constant, an unrelenting force that will shape its future for billions of years. In the inner solar system, the rocky planets are reaching their final forms. Their molten surfaces have cooled, giving rise to hardened crusts and more stable landscapes. These worlds are no longer chaotic cauldrons of lava and fire, but are becoming places where complex processes unfold. One planet, bathed in the star's golden light, shows remarkable transformation. The camera draws close, revealing a planet covered with vast oceans, punctuated by jagged continents rising above the waterline. These continents are raw and ancient, their surfaces marked by mountain ranges, deep canyons, and massive volcanic calderas. The planet's atmosphere, dense with vapor and swirling clouds, is alive with movement, driven by newly formed weather systems. Rain falls gently onto the rocky surface, carving rivers and filling lakes. These rivers wind their way through valleys, their waters rich with dissolved minerals. The oceans shimmer in the sunlight, their surfaces alive with ripples and waves. Beneath these waters, a silent revolution is beginning, the first tentative stirrings of chemical reactions that will one day give rise to life. The camera dives beneath the waves, entering a world of quiet motion. In the depths of the ocean, geothermal vents spew streams of mineral-rich water, their heat creating pockets of energy that spark the formation of complex organic molecules. These molecules drift through the currents, their interactions driven by the star's warmth and the forces of chemistry. Though simple, these molecules are the building blocks of something extraordinary, a precursor to the miracle of life. Above the rocky planets, atmospheres take shape. These envelopes of gas, born from volcanic outgassing and the impacts of icy comets, begin to stabilize, creating protective barriers between the planets and the void of space. The camera follows the formation of one such atmosphere, tracing the paths of rising plumes of gas as they cool and settle into distinct layers. Closer to the star, the atmospheres are thin and sparse, stripped away by the intense solar winds. Farther out, they grow thicker, their compositions rich with carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapor. The light of the star filters through these layers, scattering into hues of amber and gold, painting the skies of the planets with soft, ethereal colors. The camera focuses on the interactions within one atmosphere, capturing the movement of clouds as they form and dissipate. These clouds, composed of water vapor, swirl and shift, their edges glowing faintly in the sunlight. Storms rage across the surface, their winds carving new features into the land below. Lightning flashes within the clouds, a reminder of the energy that continues to shape these young worlds. Farther from the star, the gas giants reign supreme. These immense worlds, their atmospheres vast and dynamic, are centers of gravitational power, shaping the paths of nearby moons, rings, and smaller celestial bodies. The camera approaches one of these giants, its swirling atmosphere a spectacle of color and motion. Storms, larger than entire planets, churn on its surface, their edges illuminated by the faint glow of the star. The largest of these storms, a colossal vortex that has raged for millennia, is a swirling mass of deep crimson and gold. Surrounding the gas giant, a system of rings and moons forms a miniature solar system, their movements synchronized by the planet's immense gravity. The moons are worlds of their own, each one unique in its character. The camera focuses on one moon, its icy surface fractured by deep cracks. Beneath this surface lies a hidden ocean, warmed by tidal forces generated by its orbit around the gas giant. This ocean, though concealed, is a place of quiet potential, a cradle for the elements that could one day support life. Elsewhere, rocky moons orbit in close proximity to their parent planet. Their surfaces are marked by craters, ridges, and valleys, remnants of ancient collisions. The camera drifts across one such moon, capturing the intricate details of its rugged landscape, its shadowed craters glowing faintly in the reflected light of the gas giant. Between the rocky planets and the gas giants lies the asteroid belt, a vast region filled with countless fragments of rock and metal. These asteroids, relics of the early solar system, drift in quiet orbits, their paths occasionally intersecting in gentle collisions. The camera moves through this region, capturing the diversity of shapes and sizes among these ancient bodies. Some asteroids are small and irregular, their surfaces rough and jagged. Others are larger, their forms smoothed by eons of slow rotation. The camera follows one such asteroid, its surface pockmarked by craters, as it drifts through the belt. Occasionally, a smaller fragment breaks free, sent spiraling into a new orbit by the gravitational influence of a nearby planet. These asteroids, though silent and still, are an integral part of the solar system's story. They serve as messengers from the past, carrying the chemical signatures of the early universe. Occasionally, one of these bodies is drawn inward, its path bringing it close to a rocky planet. Upon impact, it delivers water, minerals, and other vital materials, playing a key role in the evolution of planetary surfaces. At the edge of the solar system lies the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy bodies and dwarf planets that orbits in the dim twilight of the star's influence. The camera moves through this distant region, capturing the serene beauty of these frozen worlds. Some are small and irregular, their surfaces coated in frost. Others, like the dwarf planet Pluto, are larger, their icy landscapes marked by mountains, plains, and deep canyons. Beyond the Kuiper Belt lies the Oort cloud, a vast sphere of icy fragments that stretches into interstellar space. These objects, far from the light and warmth of the star, are remnants of the original nebula from which the solar system was born. The camera drifts into this region, its view filled with faint, distant glimmers of icy bodies reflecting the faint light of the Milky Way. At the heart of it all, the star continues to shine, a beacon of stability and energy in the midst of constant change. Its light reaches every corner of the solar system, illuminating planets, moons, asteroids, and icy fragments. The camera returns to the star, capturing its radiant surface, where streams of plasma rise and fall in a perpetual rhythm. This is the story of a solar system in its infancy, a place of endless potential and quiet beauty. The worlds that orbit the star are still young, their surfaces and atmospheres evolving with each passing moment. Over billions of years, they will grow and change, their landscapes shaped by the forces of nature and the gentle warmth of the star. The camera pulls back, revealing the entire solar system as a unified whole. The star, its golden light steady and unwavering, stands at the center, surrounded by planets, moons, and distant icy bodies. Each element of the system moves with purpose, guided by the invisible threads of gravity and energy. This is a beginning, not an end. The story of this solar system will continue to unfold, its future written in the movements of its worlds and the light of its star. It is a place of infinite possibility, a quiet testament to the beauty and complexity of the universe. The screen fades to black, leaving only the faint, golden glow of the star, a promise of life, warmth, and light, stretching endlessly into the void. Time stretches forward, vast and unbroken, carving the destiny of the solar system through eons of transformation. The once chaotic nebula has matured into a stable and harmonious collection of worlds. Yet each of these planets, moons, and icy bodies is still in the earliest stages of its evolution. They are canvases, waiting for the brushstrokes of time, energy, and chance to sculpt their final forms. The star, radiant and unwavering, bathes the system in its golden light. It is both the creator and sustainer, its energy driving the endless cycles of change that define this new celestial order. From the molten rocky worlds close to its heart, to the gas giants and their moons in the middle distance, to the frozen bodies in the Kuiper Belt and beyond, every element is connected, bound by the invisible threads of gravity and light. The camera begins a slow journey, diving deeper into this system to witness its evolving beauty. The innermost planets are locked in a delicate dance with the star. Their orbits are fast and tight, their surfaces scorched by the constant bombardment of solar radiation. Yet even in this searing environment, the forces of creation are at work. One planet, shimmering under the intense glare of the star, is a world of extremes. The camera moves closer, revealing a landscape of molten rock and towering volcanic peaks. Rivers of lava wind their way across its surface, glowing like veins of fire. The air above shimmers with heat, the faint remnants of an atmosphere swirling in chaotic currents. Despite its hostile conditions, this planet is a testament to the persistence of matter and energy. Over billions of years, its surface will cool, its volcanic activity will subside, and it may even develop the stability required for more complex geological processes. For now, it is a world in flux, its fiery heart a reminder of the intense energy that drives the formation of planets. Another planet, slightly farther from the star, shows the first signs of a stable atmosphere. Clouds gather above its rocky surface, casting shadows that stretch across newly formed mountain ranges and expansive plains. Rain begins to fall, carving rivers and lakes into the planet's crust. The camera follows the path of one such river, tracing its journey from a distant mountain range to the edge of a shimmering ocean. Beneath the ocean's surface, a quiet revolution is beginning. The camera dives into the depths, where geothermal vents spew streams of mineral-rich water into the surrounding seas. In these nutrient-rich environments, simple organic molecules begin to form. These molecules drift through the currents, their interactions driven by the forces of chemistry and the energy provided by the star. Farther from the star, the gas giants dominate the middle regions of the solar system. These immense worlds, their atmospheres swirling with hydrogen, helium, and complex gases, are centers of gravitational power. Their influence shapes not only their own orbits but also the paths of smaller bodies throughout the system. The camera approaches one such gas giant, its surface a mesmerizing swirl of colors. Vast bands of clouds stretch across its atmosphere, each one moving in harmony with the planet's rotation. The colors shift and change, from deep blues and purples to bright golds and soft whites, creating a dynamic and ever-changing canvas. At the poles, immense auroras dance across the atmosphere, their shimmering lights caused by charged particles interacting with the planet's magnetic field. These displays are both beautiful and powerful, a visual reminder of the energy coursing through the planet. Orbiting the gas giant is a collection of moons, each one unique. The camera moves toward one of these moons, its surface coated in ice that reflects the faint light of the distant star. Cracks stretch across the ice, hinting at a hidden ocean beneath. A vast, dark sea warmed by tidal forces generated by the moon's orbit around its parent planet. This ocean, though concealed beneath kilometers of ice, is a place of quiet potential, its depths a sanctuary for the possibilities of life. Between the rocky inner planets and the gas giants lies the asteroid belt, a region of fragments left behind from the system's formation. These asteroids, varying in size from tiny pebbles to massive boulders, are remnants of a time when the solar system was young and chaotic. The camera moves through this belt, capturing the intricate details of its rocky inhabitants. Some asteroids are jagged and irregular, their surfaces marked by deep craters. Others are smoother, their forms shaped by countless collisions and eons of slow rotation. Occasionally, two asteroids collide, their impact sending smaller fragments spiraling into new orbits.